them a series of questions, and Carmen, I'll start with you. Can you tell us about your Stadia Ventures experience, specifically surrounding the strategic introductions that Stadia has made for you?
Sure. Yeah, Stadia just in general has been amazing. The community they built in St. Louis and even beyond has just been so supportive and helpful that if I didn't experience it, I wouldn't believe it. And Tim always says, don't be afraid to ask. You know, and specifically in strategic partnerships, it's you have an army of people behind you, but it almost feels like a genie in a lantern. Because, you know, I ask, I need to accelerate sales, and I need a strategic partner for that, and they give me a national partnership with a huge sports organization. I need a fulfillment partner to funnel sporting goods through my commerce engine. And the first week I'm here, I get introduced to a partner there. And it just goes on. And now, yeah, in the first week. And now, you know, it's like, now I want to raise some capital. And they bring 100 people into a room for me to talk to, which is phenomenal. And, I'm mixed feelings about it ending. You know, I kind of wanted to go on 3-4 more weeks. You know, but Tim always also says that we're like an Italian family here. And once you're in, you know, you're always welcome back. And I told him I'm going to test those limits. Because I'm going to keep coming back until you kick me out.
Tim, you have a dinner guest tonight. All right, secondly, I'd like to ask Tyler Ferret. Stadia has invested or invited some great guest speakers each week. Can you tell us about your key takeaways and experiences with yours?
Yeah, I think it's been great that Stadia has gotten such a breadth of experience basically for us. So, we've had people who are entrepreneurs themselves, they're scaling up their businesses, all the way to people coming from Fortune 500 companies. And so, we've taken a lot of specifically actionable insights from that. So we've had, partnership experts come in, so we were able to kind of get advice on our partnership strategy. We've had financial experts come in, so we were able to kind of update some of our modeling. Messaging experts come in, so we kind of changed the way our product is messaged. So it's definitely just been a very broad range of expertise that they've been able to source for us, and it's very difficult to get that without a structure like Stadia has put together.
That's terrific. I'll ask the next question of Micah. One of the things that we do at Stadia is provide 3 or 4 mentors for each of our cohort members. Can you tell us about your experience with your mentors?
Yeah, so Stadia set us up with an amazing team. We had 4 mentors. They all had 4 different backgrounds. They brought so much invaluable expertise to the table. I know every Friday after our mentor session, on the plane ride home, I had about 5 pages of homework that I had to do every time. And they really helped us build an amazing foundation for our company. And now we're ready to scale. We run into way less problems than we would have. So I really want to thank my mentor group. 3 out of the 4 are here. And thanks, Stadia. You guys really set us up with a great program here. It was amazing.
Nicely done, mentors. And Joe, I'd like to ask of you. So over the course of the 12 weeks, you've been immersed in St. Louis culture, from Venture Cafe to Blueberry Hill and everywhere in between, Cardinals games, etc. So can you tell us about your experience meeting not just the entrepreneur ecosystem, but also the different executives in the sports business and the entrepreneur in of itself?
Sure, Laura. So I had a bit of an appreciation for St. Louis before joining Stadia. My wife's parents they met at WashU as foreign exchange students, and my wife was born at Barnes Hospital, but I hadn't actually spent a lot of time here myself. And so coming here with Stadia, I had 3 big takeaways. First, the people. They say ahead of time, you're going to love the people, everyone's so nice. Wow, that is really true. Not only are people really nice, that they go out of their way to help you in such a gracious way, in a way where they aren't going to get any gain from it, other than simply the satisfaction of helping you. And that's really cool. Second is, I've discovered this is a remarkable city in that, in its founding, it was sort of the last of the East Coast cities, really, in some ways, but with the Midwest roots and then the frontier to the west. And so you have all these things mixed together, and so you come here, the flyover city, as people like to call it, but in fact, there's a lot of people here who are transplants from New York or transplants from other cities who just love this place, and so they have connections to all those other cities. And then finally, I was really, how do I say this? Actually, I want to make sure I say this right, to make sure I get my note here, because this is an important point I wanted to make. The point I want to make is regarding how St. Louis is reinventing itself. If you think about the city, there are more startups, more incubators here than you see in a lot of other places. And when you have that kind of ecosystem, that kind of energy being put into the city, it is a reinventing, they're reinventing in the sense that you're going to have cities or companies that are going to become Fortune 500 companies right here in St. Louis. Because of all the energy being put into this venture startup, a lot of other ones in the city, and that was remarkable to me that you have that kind of vitality of startups right here in St. Louis.
Yeah, St. Louis is one of the top accelerator cities in the country, so we would agree. So thank you. Vicki, you've got the easiest yet the hardest question. It's summarizing the entire 12 weeks. What was your experience?
You know, it's amazing. I'm from Charleston, South Carolina, which was voted the friendliest city in the world, which is amazing. It's kind of nice, but you come here and it's, I'm not talking loud enough.
No.
All right. Can you hear me now? It helps. I have friends over there. So I come from Charleston, South Carolina, and Charleston is voted the most friendliest city by Condé Nast. But when you come here, it's such a welcoming city that it's amazing at how many people have reached out with no more intent than just to help us. And the connections we've made are amazing. I have a stack of business cards, and so does Lisa, of people who are genuinely willing to help us. And so much so that we are considering opening an office here in September of this year. So
our cohort, I think it's safe to say that Tim and Art and all of our support and help are doing a great job based on the responses from our team. So I'd like to ask any of those who've been mentoring, advising, to please stand up and be recognized as part of our cohort. All the support that you bring from, as again, capital expertise and connections. So thanks to our cohort.